This is Marvel Legends Thor, part of the first wave of the 2012 return of Marvel Legends 6-inch figures. I really like this figure. He's definitely one of my favorites. I wasn't planning on getting him just because, I have tons of Thor figures. They make way too many Thors and way too many Iron Mans, and I wasn't really planning on getting him, but I got a couple of the figures, and I really like those, so I decided to get them all. And this one is definitely, he's probably like my second favorite next to Steve Rogers. He's just awesome. He's got a great sculpt, nice paint. His hammer is awesome. He does have a few problems though, and I would have preferred a different Thor. This isn't my favorite version of Thor. This classic Thor. I like some other Thors better, but all in all, he's a great figure. He's really nice. On to him in a minute. Let's look at his packaging first, as always. I really love this new Marvel Legends packaging. I mean, it just looks awesome. It's very comic book looking, and all those little comic panels and the words just look really cool, and he just looks really awesome in his packaging. The bag's equally cool. Only problem is, though, there's not really a good picture of the actual figure on the box, just these little teeny ones, so I wish there was a better picture of the figure. He is a Build-A-Figure release, which means he comes with a body parts of... Oh wait, no, hold on a second. He isn't a Build-A-Figure. He's too big to come with a Build-A-Figure. He's the only one in the wave that doesn't come with a body part to this guy. I think probably just because he's so big and they couldn't fit anything else in the packaging, but there you go. So, sorry about that. Alright, on the figure. He comes with his hammer, of course, and his hammer is awesome. I love it. This is one of the best Thor hammers I've ever seen. Like the 4-inch Marvel Universe hammer, I mean it's cool, but it's just not that great. It doesn't look like a real hammer. It just looks like a toy, and that's one of the most important things with Thor, I think, is to have a hammer so that looks badass. Because when he picks up that hammer, I mean, you need to know that he means business, and this figure definitely means business. And it's just really thick and blocky. It's got a lot of great paint or a lot of great sculpt detail on that. It really looks like Asgardian metal. This part is really hard, but his little handle on it, that's got a soft plastic feel to it. I mean, it's not too soft. It's not going to bend if you drop it or anything like that, but it can bend. And then it has this little hook on the bottom part, which I believe goes to this little piece. It seems to be a removable piece. There's two little pegs right in there. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can. I love this camera. So I guess you can pull this off and then slide this little hook onto it, but I'm trying to get mine off, and it's not coming off with an easy pull, so I don't really want to pull it off. If you want to try on yours, go for it. But I guess you could also put it in like this, maybe. Looks kind of silly, but I don't know. Whatever you want to do. Alright, now onto the figure. The source, of course, is like a very classic-looking Thor, and I really like it. I just prefer some other Thors. I really like Thunder Age Thor, and I've seen a million Thor figures of this Thor, so another one would have been preferred. But he's awesome. His sculpt is freaking phenomenal. One thing I just want to show you first is I feel like his legs are a little too short. They just look kind of stubby, at least his calves or his lower leg. It looks like it needs to be just a little bit longer. So it kind of has a little bit of a dwarfing effect, but I mean it's very minimal, not that much at all. Alright, now let's look at how great this sculpt is. All that metal detail, I mean, it looks awesome. That really looks like metal PC Asgardian armor. I mean, just the amount of little teeny squares that they put in there, it's really remarkable. And the paint detail in there is awesome. It's more like a bluish silver, and I really like that. And it has, of course, a lot of metal brushing all throughout it. Got a lot of wear to it. It's just really nice looking. I like that a lot. his chest piece here, it's just a simple blue, or I mean, it's like it's kind of like a charcoal. Maybe it's just more of a charcoal. Sorry, not blue. But there's not really much like shading detail or toning in that. It's just this one color. And then of course the little trimming, that's more of a gold color. There's some brown up here. It's got a buckle on it, which is pretty fine detail, and I like that a lot. His belt is really cool. It's got a gold buckle, and then it's just the same color as this underneath, but it has a lot of brown, like a leathering type look to it. I like that. These little, I don't know what these are. These little buttons or something. I don't know. They hold his cape on. Well, theoretically, not on the actual figure. These ones are really nice. They got nice weathering to them and some good paint. But the ones on his little tunic here, they're just painted on. So I really don't like that. It really detracts from it. I mean, because this looks so out of place when you look at the rest of him. So I don't really like that. His cape is phenomenal. This is one of my favorite Thor capes I've ever seen. I mean, it flows great. It's got a lot of texture into it, and it just falls really nicely. It looks like it's blowing in the wind subtly. It's really cool. I mean, when you run your fingers over it, it's awesome. I love the way it bunches up and the cloth folds up here. It looks really lifelike. I do feel that they could have gone. I like this one a lot, and I usually prefer a sculpted cape, but I think at this size they could have gone with like a really soft cloth, and I think it would have fallen nicely. But the cloth capes, usually I don't like them because they bunch out or they fall weird. But I think if they went a really soft cloth, it would have fallen more realistically than they usually do in the smaller figures. His boots are, I don't really like them. Like I said, I feel like this part of his legs is a little too short, and they're really skinny at the ankles. And also, when you bend it at the knee, the top of it stays on his knee. I like the Marvel Select Colossus better. This is all one piece, and you can just you can see a joint through it, and it just looks really thin. And it looks like a toy. So I don't really like that, but I really like the leather bands and the buckles down here. His head sculpt is great. I love his head sculpt. He looks really tough, really chiseled, really strong, Thor-like. And when they try to achieve it on this 4-inch Marvel Universe one, he just looks like Charlie Brown. He's got a real block head, and he just I don't really like it. This one, I don't like this guy's face. I like the sculpt on him and on his face, but this face, it looks really lifelike. It's really chiseled. It's just really strong looking face. His hair is really cool. I like his helmet. The little wings on him, mine's a little bit bent, but that's an easy fix just with some hot water and ice, just to pull them back like that. But the detail on these, it has sculpted detail, but it's just white. Oh yeah, one other cool thing. It looks like his eyes, I don't know if you can tell here, it looks like they're silver as opposed to blue. I think they're silver eyes, and that's a really nice touch. They got a real nice sparkle to them, or like a shine, like a little metallic-y shine to him. I like that a lot. He is huge. He's gigantic. Here he is next to the Steve Rogers from this wave, and I mean he's bigger, he's taller and wider than him. The Terax figure, the Build-A figure, I mean he's just about as big as him, and he's supposed to be, he's way bigger than most other figures. So he is giant. I like that. His articulation, he's got good articulation. He's got a ball jointed head, but that's really just a swivel. Ball jointed shoulders, a swivel bicep, ball hinge elbow, a swivel hinge wrist, a ball hinge chest, no articulation in the waist. There's no articulation in the waist. Ball jointed hips with a swivel thigh, double jointed knee, and a swivel hinge boot or ankle. So he's got good articulation. The cape might get in the way a little bit of his shoulder articulation, and this tunic gets in the way of his hip articulation, but it's not that bad. And I'm sorry, the hips are actually swivel hinge, not ball jointed, so they go forward and out. Basically the same movement as a ball joint, though. All right, so final thoughts. I love this figure. He's definitely one of my favorites. He's got a great sculpt, a great paint, awesome accessories. He just looks awesome. He does have a couple problems, like I said, but all in all, he's a great figure. He's definitely one of my favorites, second only to Steve Rogers. If you were going to buy any of the figures, I would definitely recommend this guy. He's sick. I got the rest of the figures coming up to be reviewed next, and you can see my opinions on the rest of them. That's it for him, and until next time, keep collecting.